Tonight's episode, That Was No Lady.
Hey, did you know that you could help support our future projects and let everyone know you're a fan of what we do? Check out our print-on-demand store. We have a tab here on YouTube. When you click on it, you can choose from a bunch of different items we have, shirts and posters and coffee mugs. Click on the one you like. When you find the design you want to put on it, choose a color and a size if it's appropriate. And when you purchase these items, a portion goes to help fund our future projects. We really do appreciate your support. You get some cool stuff. When you get that stuff, post pictures here and on other platforms, and we'll hook you up next time you order from our Gear website store. Thank you for your support of gunwebsites.com.
It's 11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
And welcome everybody to our Daily Gun Show. Come to you live every weeknight at midnight Eastern, and we talk about guns for about an hour or so. Our goal would be to do this show longer, to be a long format show that goes on into the evenings. So we have a scroll going at the bottom of the screen, and we start the show off with some slides that thank the Patreons, the people that subscribe to our projects, our websites, our projects, the stuff that we create that's for sale over at our website store. And then, of course, the social platform shows like this, the podcasts and everything. So the people that make these Second Amendment focused projects possible, subscribe. Most of them are buying us a cup of coffee each month. And then some of them are buying us lunch each month. Sometimes it's not even a tank of gas, a couple of gallons of gas at this point. And we appreciate that because it accumulates. And that's what lets us continue to focus on these projects with very little, in fact, no advertisement at all, except to say thanks to the people that are out there doing good work for Second Amendment. That being said, we go live every weeknight, so pretty much every night. We do some stuff on the weekends too, but the idea is to be doing a show with some intent. Anybody can go live just to chat. That's fine. Having a conversation is important. We've been part of those for years. However, with this show, the Daily Gun Show, episode 1455 or something, I think we're on this week, we have some goals. We have some things that we'd like to accomplish. Mondays, it's motivation for Second Amendment activists, why you might want to be an activist and how to do that, how to use the software, how to use the tools, how to be in the industry, how to navigate, right? And then some motivation when necessary, some inspiration, and then interviews whenever possible with Second Amendment advocates out there. We ask them why they do what they do and how they do it. On Tuesdays, we talk about Second Amendment, pretty straightforward. Sometimes we focus on a state, sometimes an organization or an activist, but Second Amendment topics. Wednesdays, it's guns and culture in our society. We have some fun and we do our tactical quiz. Normalizing guns includes realizing that guns are part of the United States, part of the English language, part of Western culture, and part of individual freedom. Not in a negative way, of course, in some ways negative, but many ways positive. And we like to focus on that stuff. We do that specifically on Wednesdays. Thursdays, it's travel and training. Two of the things that I've been a big fan of and participated in over the years. I've been looking back recently at our travels, but we also take a look at things that you might be interested in as far as training. Remember, there's marksmanship training, there's gunsmithing, there's learning how to appreciate history. There's lots and lots of training out there. And then we get into the adjacent stuff like the stop the bleed, or just knowing how to learn how to work social media or digital cameras. All of that is part of training. And then travel. Come on, the gun community is all over the place. Things happen all the time. So travel is well, something that we've been a big part of since our time online sharing stuff. And then Fridays, today, the day that we take a look at what other people are doing and we monitor, Second Amendment stuff that's been happening with a focus on what our Second Amendment protects. All right, with that being said, we've been looking at a picture of this puppy who's lazy and just sleeping all the time. So we're going to now flip over to the screen sharing here and push the puppy down to the bottom so you can monitor the little puppy. Looks like a potato. It's really a puppy. All right, so we've got the Gear websites up on the screen. I just posted a link over there. We do have some new products over there. We have Patreons, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, but we also have a store. Lots of the things that we're accomplishing, we attempt to accomplish that I described earlier. So we do with workshops. We build stuff together with others online, showing how to use the software, oftentimes free software, the skill sets so that we can have Second Amendment people in these trades. The digital creation of data is a cool trade to be in. It'd be nice to have more Second Amendment people in there, some gun owners in there, or just to have the ability to, help out our own community. So we do these things live, and the results of that are often created into products. In this case, a bunch of new patches came in this last week. The first one was sold yesterday, and it went out this morning. Seems like yesterday because it's a million years ago. But or it seems like a million hours ago. But we did send out the first one earlier today, and lots of free stuff going out. So it's Free Patch Friday. We'll be doing a thank you to our super chats. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 super chats this month. Every Friday, we also say thanks to our super chats, and we'll pull a random drawing tonight. And they'll again be getting one of the new patches we can't even talk about. Every once in a while we make some patches that we just can't sell, and we know it. So we have Free Patch Friday. So if you purchase stuff on Fridays, we send out free patches to say thanks. Every once in a while, those are top secrets patches that 2 of them have been sent out so far. So thanks to the people that participate in what we do over at your websites. What we're going to look at tonight is the description of this video. So this is the video with the screen capture of the puppy earlier, and you can see there's a description here. It's pretty boring, just the way that YouTube allows, the lack of formatting that YouTube allows, I guess would be the way to describe it. So instead, we take the same data, same information, and post it over on a place called Substack, which is just essentially a blog. And that's what we do. We post the same information over there, and you can see that it shows the thumbnails and the links and everything. So it's just visually more interesting. So that's what we're going to do, is scroll through and read the description of this video live. We are live, and we do have a portion of the screen here for the feedback for the people that are participating in the live chat. We're about to dig in and say hey to those people. In addition, because we're live and we value the interactive nature of the internet, we've got the poll going over here, where it'll ask this week's question: how was this week for 2A? And then comment with why you voted for what you did. So the options could be great week, good week, okay, or bad. So kind of the spectrum there. Let us know what you think. Has this been? How has this been? How has this week been for 2A? Like I say, this is kind of a boring, just thing to read through here. So we're going to flip back over to Substack, and we'll dig in. So again, it's episode 1455 for people that might be listening. This is recorded on December 16th. So it's the end of the year. We're heading into 2023. Towards the end of the show, we'll take a minute and take a look at a calendar that has most of the events that were, at least the ones that I'm familiar with, ones that I was able to research, that are coming up in 23, and kind of do a quick overview of the year. But to say thanks to the people that are joining us live, we're going to dig through the live comments here. Again, if you're watching this thing live, or if you're looking at this in the future as a video, about a third to a quarter of the screen, depending on how you want to measure it, is the comments, the people that have joined us live and are participating by chatting with us here. And while this is a live presentation, I guess it's not scripted, and we do interact with the people that are out there. Again, our goal would be to do this live, long format. Since this starts at midnight Eastern, our goal would be able to go overnight like Art Bell. So having co-hosts and everything again would be great. But until then, we'll say thanks to the people that join us live and participate this way. Woods was the first one to join in. This is Gizzard Gary's 200th episode, and he just retired from his day job, and they're having essentially a party over there. So I went late. I was late starting this, and I appreciate all the people that joined us late in the evening and then late on the schedule. But again, my goal would be to have this thing go live overnight. Really appreciate the people that are up at night and have no problem being live for the overnighters. All right, that being said, we got Wood saying hey, and G23 jumping in right after that. Wood says there's a lot to cover. Actually, I can only cover what is, I'm able to check out. So things have been kind of collapsing. So I have not had a chance to watch as much as I might. So on my end, there's actually not that much to cover. You'll see what I was able to pay attention to this week. However, if I'm missing stuff, feel free to let me know the stuff that's important that I should add. It doesn't cost that much to take some time to add some things that I might be missing, because there is a lot of stuff that seems to be happening right now. All right, so G23 says, great week for 2A. We've been able to watch a court case and see the game plan for the anti-2A. And if people are paying attention, homemade firearms just got a huge hand. So it's interesting. I guess I'm missing the part about homemade. DJ is out there. Welcome. And that might be everybody. I don't know, Biker Bob is out there. When we started this show in 2016, Biker Bob came down from Canada, and that's how we started the show, Bob and I. Let's see, Jordan is out there also. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever it might be, wherever you are, and wherever you might be listening, or whenever you might be listening to this. Oh, okay. So Woods just says he bought a 2A cartoon on Gun Gear websites. Can we draw a new Gizzard Gary? Oh, yeah, for sure. So what I'll do, if it's okay with you, is I'll do that after this as a separate show. But thanks for that. We do illustrations. And like I say, I try to do that kind of stuff live if possible. So yeah, I got no problem. If you got a particular picture or something, let me know if that's what you're talking about. And or if you've got something else in mind, let me know. But thank you for that. Appreciate it. Let's see, G23 saying thanks for hosting every day and shouting out others. Yep, you bet. That's what it's all about. All right, I think that's everybody. So thanks to everybody for showing up. If you're out there and you're joining us throughout the show, feel free to participate. Again, I'm not really doing this as sit down and watch. It is designed to, not scripted or anything, but it's just designed to be a presentation of what is going on for the week, maybe a little bit of commentary or editorial. All right, so I guess we're going to start off with the bullet points, which I didn't do very well. So I'm just going to go ahead and make those a lot easier to read by editing this real quick. So I'm just going to go in here and grab these things as bullet points. And just go up here and make the bullet point deal, and then hit enter a couple of times, and then I'll put suicide prevention as its own thing. Maybe even put a break. Is there some kind of a break in here? Look at that. All right, so now we'll update that and update that. We'll make it a little bit easier to read here. So it's episode 1455. We've been doing this show for a long time. I don't know if Bob remembers coming down and when we did episodes, whatever, 1, I guess. Bonus for anybody who remembers, not Bob. Don't answer because he knows. But what was the show called before Daily Gun Show? We changed it whenever What's-Face wanted to make money with the show. Before it was called something else. So what was it called before? All right, so we got the new ATF 4473. So that's a lot of people talking about that. That's one of the bullet points this week. A new one on the scene is HR 9441, at least for my awareness, the Identifying Mass Shooters Act, a new House bill to kind of do the Big Brother read your social media, I think. Again, I'm not here to be an authoritative explainer for all of these things as much as taking a look briefly here at the beginning of the week at what's been thrown around, what kind of fire are we in? What's the indirect fire coming from this week? So we've got the CDC news where they were fiddling with data, and that's coming from, Woods knows, it was I Hate Guns. So I own IHateGuns.com, and I figured something to do with it would maybe make a podcast called I Hate Guns, and then that way somebody would look at that and go, oh, a podcast called I Hate Guns, I'm listening to that. And then it was me and Bob being nerds about guns. But I think too many people were like, wait a minute, you don't hate guns. So it didn't work out. So we went to Daily Gun Show. Let's see. So we've got, that was discovered by a media source, The Reload, and they were, I've been drinking coffee all day too. The Reload was researching, or that was the results of, what do they call those things? Freedom of Information Request, FOIAs. So that's a tactic, that's a strategy. Is it the most effective? I don't know. We've seen the results of them, but we don't know how much time and effort they're putting in to get those results. Is it they put in 4 and get a good result, or do they put in 400 and get a good result? One good result. So that would be interesting to hear about. But the idea that people are out there on the offense or in the investigative realm, we know that Crump's been doing that for a while now. There might be others that do it, like John Lott, perhaps. He doesn't really talk about where he gets his data, or his presentation doesn't include where he got it necessarily, or if he does, I don't remember him talking about freedom of information request all that often. But I don't know if that new is that going to stick around, and I'm all about it. Are we going to see the national level organizations create branches or arms to do this? Or are they going to just stick with lawsuits? Question mark. All right, tell you what, it's freezing, and I thought I could do this without my one blanket thing on, so I'm going to do a quick commercial. Here, I'll tell you what, we'll open up so that everybody can see the puppy. And then we'll do a commercial for something, and then I'm going to go through this other blanket I got on. So on Saturdays, Tony Simon, Clover, and I answer gun questions. AskGunQuestions.com is a website that we built back in 2007, and since then, for the last 15 years, people have been able to ask questions of simple to advanced nature, and we attempt to answer them in different ways over the years. Join us now as we start a new series to answer gun questions. I cut up a poncho liner and made it into a big giant jacket thing. All right, so like I say, is that a new tactic? Are we going to see that? And then, are we going to see more powerful, dedicated organizations doing that? Or are we just going to be required to watch individual, self-funded, lightly funded? I don't think Crump or the Reload is making a bunch of money. The Reload gets $12 a month from people. And I don't know what Crump gets, but it's on freaking Minds or something. So except from his Amazon money or whatever he's got. And I don't know where the Reload gets their income, but are we going to be beholden on individuals who do Freedom of Information Acts randomly? Are they doing these randomly? Are they doing them with a strategy? That'd be my question. The next one would be the House of Representatives Judiciary Subcommittee on blah, blah, blah. Then the thing on Uvalde. And I've heard it described as a last-ditch effort from the antis
while they still had control of the Congress to be able to call the hearing, I guess. Like while they still had the authority to call the hearing, their attempt to basically exploit all those people again. And they were horrible. I don't know if anybody watched them. So we had, who did stream that? Was that Ghost that streamed that? Somebody streamed the Uvalde thing, and it was pretty bad. All right, so then we'll keep going. I'm not in a storm out. Got a bunch of coffee here. Somebody drinking some coffee. Oh, I still got it on the puppy. Sorry about that. Excuse me. I've been told, been coached that it's a bad idea to have a puppy on any kind of a Second Amendment topic thing. People don't take this seriously because of the animals. All right, so in addition to that heinous waste of money, and there should be, again, some kind of big effort to examine how much time, which is money, and how much money is spent on these politicians who hide behind, I don't know, whatever they want to consider they call themselves, whatever they're hiding behind, and then spending a bunch of money to do these witch hunts. It's really bad, sickening. Was Ghost doing the hearing? Okay, I got the links to it down below, so we'll sort it out here in a minute. Sent you the gizzard pic on IG. Right on, thanks. Yeah, so like I say, if that works for you, then I'll do it after the show here. All right, then we have Connecticut Democratic, whatever, blah, 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 told the media he plans to reintroduce legislation that would ban the possession of. So remember how Connecticut, wasn't it Connecticut just a minute ago that had a big testimonial thing where they resisted something like HR 18 or something, or HR 8, something like that, from the governor there? So I guess this is saying he plans to reintroduce his crazy assault weapons ban he wants to ban the stuff that was grandfathered and whenever last heinous infringements they created in 2013. So where I think Connecticut did a pretty good job of facilitating the testimonials by having a physical location that people could go to and hang out and be together and keep each other's motivation up and keep each other awake and keep each other entertained until their time to do the testimonials came. I don't know if it'll be that way this time, if it'll be a remote Zoom style, when we call you, you got to be there type testimonials, or if it'll be people are required to show up. Maybe that's their tactic. Last time they think they lost because of the Zoom technology or something. Maybe they think a situation where people have to show up at the Capitol, they'll be able to pack the house or something, or pack the room. So that'll be interesting. So we have a couple of different things on the horizon, and I think one of the other things we can take a look at from the bullet points this week, taking bullet points back a few weeks. Now, I don't do the show exactly the same every week. I'm trying to figure it out. I only have, I don't have any interns. If I had interns, the show could be more consistent. I could yell at them when it's not done perfectly. But I have nobody to yell at because I can only spend the time I can spend on it. But these bullet points, the concept here would be I put them on the thumbnail of the video, and I have them at the beginning of the video here, and the video description gets posted on Substack and on a couple of other different places around the internet. So the idea would be to kind of create a diary or a weekly headlines, bullet points, literally, of what's important. Some of these things kind of stick around, and some of them come and go. I think a lot of them come and go. Is that by design? Is that by convenience? I mean, certainly it's convenient for both sides.
at least it's convenient for anybody whose goal is to get you to tune in every day. And that's certainly not my goal. If we're going to tune in every day, let's do something interesting and new and grow and evolve every day. Let's not come in and be echo chamber day after day, or let's not come in and just talk about what we just observed from some programming. So this set of stuff that we have to deal with is definitely difficult to keep up with, and a big goal that I think, or one of the ways I think we could deal with that is with the Every Second Matters project becoming more of a daily blog or more of a bulletin board, like that Hey Jackass thing that somebody has going from Chicago. It's the same thing I've been saying for quite a while now. However, can't do it myself and can't do it with a bunch of people that are only able to offer what they can offer. So if you're interested in seeing that, something like that happen, I think it's important to have some kind of a scoreboard, a national bulletin board of what's going on, so that things can be seen for what's important and what's hitting the scene and how long things are there and deadlines and a way to archive the stuff so that we can see how often things are used and start to see some strategies give us that 30,000-foot view. I don't see any of the organizations doing it, and I think it's something that would be great as a resource. So if you're interested in participating in that or seeing it happen, or Patreons makes the time available, and then if you want to be part of it, let me know, because it's not possible to be a one-person thing. It needs to be a team effort. All right, so these bullet points are a way to monitor the different attacks and the different strategies that people are using. But there's not infinite, but there's certainly many ways that they're going to attack us, and lots of different ways that we resist and defend against those attacks. So knowing that they happen week after week, being aware of them is interesting, but unless you're some kind of robot that can just hear these things, remember them, and archive them for the future, having this stuff readily available is going to require some infrastructure. It's going to require something and the effort to do it. Some shelves to put it on and people to put them on those shelves. Because we'd be better off knowing that, like, for example, this Connecticut Democratic governor, if it didn't say reintroduce, you're going to get a lot of people who are going to see this and they're just going to yell about it. Connecticut's governor is trying to send stuff through. That's news. Yes, valid. Sure, you could say that and you could walk away and no one's going to really pay attention. But if you were to say the governor of Connecticut is doing this again, and look what the DC project facilitated last time, who wants to participate and make sure this never happens again by amplifying what was done last time. That's the trick. So we're not forgetting our recent past and our long past, all of our past successes and failures. Right, so moving on to the different projects, the different people that are putting forth effort each week. One consistent project that goes every Saturday afternoon or evening, depending on what part of the country you're in, is a Great Start Shooting School. It has a suicide prevention Saturday segment, a brief, I guess it doesn't show on the preview here, but usually 15, 20 minutes, some sort of a quick topic that focuses on suicide prevention and mental health awareness. When we know that the other side wants to suggest that guns are dangerous, they use numbers to verify, but to suggest that. And the numbers they use always include suicides. They need to do that because they're the number 30,000 deaths each year with a handgun or with guns in general. Is only even a number with the 2 out of 3 deaths being from suicide. So without that, it's more like less than 10,000 a year. So they need those suicide deaths in order to make guns sound more dangerous. And it's not just atrocious, I don't know what the word is, it's not just heinous, but it's also a bad tactic. And Brooke offers awareness and often tips, tricks, strategies, suggestions, clues, and conversation on how to approach the subject, how to do better in conversation and debate, and how to do better in awareness and eliminating the blocks and the gaps and the rifts in the conversation around suicide and mental health awareness. Literally, one of the best things you could do as a gun owner and a Second Amendment activist would be to be more comfortable and more aware of the suicide prevention aspect. That takes such a piece away from the antis who need the numbers desperately, who need people to be unaware of the options there. And it also eliminates, ideally, if we solve this, if we make this easier to deal with, easier for people to approach the subject, we eliminate deaths, or at least we eliminate unnecessary deaths that might occur when these things are left in the shadows, left in unspoken conversations, left in the silence. So thank you, Brooke. I almost always put it as the most important thing each week. And not that the individual subject is important. It's just sort of like if you were looking at a big rolling toolbox full of drawers with all those different hand tools and power tools probably in it, then it's not like any individual tool is the one that's necessary. It's the set that gives you the ability to really get some work done. And what Brooke provides is a tool or two each week to put into your toolbox and have better and better, more effective conversations. In addition, she's a firearms instructor with an interesting perspective and skill set and story. So, for the different. So anyway, she brings all that to an interesting project on YouTube. Right, next up would be G23, who's this guy. He's out there right now. Let's see. Berkeley professor said multiple times in his testimony that the average person was the original firearms manufacturer before and after the Revolutionary War. Oh, okay. So I think he's talking about what he's talking about right here. The hearing for the Measure 114 in Oregon was when the new gun infringements happened in Oregon by ballot measure were set to go live. They couldn't because there's no infrastructure available, and it would be not possible to enforce something that isn't enforceable. So there was, from what I understand, a challenge at the federal level, at the state level, and then another challenge at the county level. And I believe this was the live streaming of the hearing at the county level on the issue of whether or not the magazines were a separate arm, or whether or not whether or not magazines are a separate arm or just a necessary mechanical component of the machine. Well, I don't know if they said it anywhere near that briefly, but that would be kind of what they talked about. DJ saying, what's with the 4473? There's a couple of different videos. There's none that I'm satisfied with, but there's a couple of different videos that explain the new 4473s, which are, rebuilt to include the Republican gun control this year that said 18-year-olds can't be trusted with property. So the wives and the spouses of military people who are deployed, who might be between the age of 18 and 21, are disarmed thanks to the new Republican gun control. And the new 4473 came out to enforce that. I think there's some other things that people have been complaining about that are on there as well. They've offered them as available, and they've changed all the electronics to update to the new one. So it's something that happened this last week. That's why it's on a couple of different radars out there where they knew they could make some views by talking about it. All right, so the next thing, I think, isn't anything. DJ's been dropping some links in there. Thanks for that. All right, so the next one is Ghost, who was streaming, I guess it doesn't say, but for many hours, the that House committee thing with the Uvalde. So I heard about that from Instagram when some of the DC Project ladies, Gabby Franco and Diana Mueller and somebody else went there, and we're going to offer, I don't know, like they were going to be support for whoever it was that was going to testify. And I can't remember now for life who it was that was going to testify. But somebody was going there to testify, and they were just going there to be like moral support for him. And then open up the computer, and Ghost was streaming it. So a lot of people watched that thing live during the time. G23 is saying there was 3 lawsuits at the federal level and 1 at the state level from that county. And it was the GOA's suit against the measure for violating the state constitution. Well, that's right, thanks. They were there to support John Lott. So they pretty much ignored John Lott. And it was horse and pony. I think that's the best way to describe it. Just a show. All right, so when you're talking about that new Form 4473, armed attorneys did a video. This is the one I decided to link to, although there's probably 5 of the major source. Well, any major source that talks about everything that there's to talk about is going to talk about it. So theirs was fairly brief. I don't think I like they blew it off more than I would. I think there's more to it than they deal with in this video, but this is a good summary video if you want to see some of the changes and the updates and then how they're implementing it. In other words, if a gun shop already has a bunch of 4473s that they just have in a box somewhere, they don't have to throw them away. But every other way that the ATF is involved, these have already been updated. So the new ones are definitely being used out there. Not mandatory, but they're being used. Sandhills is back and had another show where they were talking about mistakes, I guess, with concealed carry. Barbecue started a giveaway, kind of a way to support Echo. So you can check out this video. He also has another video where he talks about the project and why and what's happening. But essentially, Echo moved. His family situation changed, and then he moved. And then whatever he had planned to do fell through, or he moved and it was short-lived, and then he moved again to a family member's. And either at the same time or coincidentally or subsequently, whatever word it is, his family members fallen on some issues too. So they're having some problems financially, and Echo has inspired and enabled a bunch of people. So Barbecue started doing a deal to get some awareness and some funds over to Echo. Did a thing to let people know here's his email if you wanted to PayPal him or anything to just help brother out. And then it turns out a bunch of other people heard about that and started doing their own type of versions of it. And hopefully Echo's getting some help at a rough time. And thanks for Barbecue for kind of getting the ball rolling. Chris's show, Chris from 740, had Eagle Run on. They had a pretty decent reloading show. So pretty heavy on the reloading stuff if you have to kind of nerd out. But towards the end, that's when everybody in Chris's show, who's a big fan of Echo, knows Echo, focused on Echo. And they talked about a couple of different projects that they're doing out there individually to help Echo out. Pretty cool. All right, moving on to Riding Shotgun with Charlie and Meet the Pressers do a kind of a team up collaborative interview where they both are on and they bring on people that they both know or they both have interviewed on their own individual shows. And this week they had the guys on from the CERT pistol, and I figured I'd use this. I should probably have grabbed the link already, but we ended up winning that CERT pistol a couple of weeks back from listening to that show, that collaborative show, where they get together and co-host the interviews. Is my internet down or something? What's going on? Okay. So I don't need a CERT pistol. So instead, I donated it to the Ghost and Clover show, SHOT Show sticker project. So I'm going to drop a link to that. So you can drop the link, and then you can go back and grab like a title or something like this that makes some sense. So the link has some description. And then I'll usually hit space equals space. And then you got Ghost and Clover show, SHOT Show. So basically what the deal is, Ghost and Clover, we're selling a bunch of stickers for $10. They signed them and whatnot. And then I'm pretty sure they're TFNs, not NFTs, but TFNs. And then whenever you grab a couple, you get a slot in the drawing for, I don't know, $1,600 worth of stuff, a pistol and some other things. So instead of just having one thing, I was like, here, you can grab this CERT pistol also. In fact, there'll be that CERT pistol with a couple of patches, and threw that into their mix. So if you're interested in helping these guys get to SHOT Show, which is the big project, and then having some stickers you can use for doing different things with them, because you'll have a bunch of stickers in the end, and then potentially win a big pile of loot. It's always fun. Check that out. I'm going to take a second here and flip back over to the poll and see what's happening over there. Right now, the poll with 9 votes is coming in with the most votes for a tie, okay and good. Then 22% for great and only 11% for bad. So if you've got an opinion on how this week was for 2A, feel free to throw it out there in the comments. Otherwise, we're going to continue to dig in. Again, Clover and Ghost have this situation going with the stickers. Grab yourself a sticker for $10, which is basically nothing. Here's how it works, just the same way that our Patreon things work. Just the same way that when you go buy a movie ticket, right? That movie ticket costs you a couple of bucks, well, maybe $20 nowadays. And then they can make a movie that costs $60 million or whatever. And everybody makes a profit because of, I don't know what that's called, accumulation, I guess. So if everybody grabs a couple of these $10 stickers, then these guys end up getting the SHOT Show. It works out pretty good. Or at least helping them, I'm sure, in a big way to get to SHOT Show. All right, we'll leave that up there and we'll keep digging in. And thanks to, well, Riding Shotgun with Charlie and Meet the Pressers for supplying the show that gave us the ability to win the CERT pistol. And then I suppose thanks to the CERT guys for making that available like that each week for those guys, or each episode that they got those guys do those shows. They were also showing some interesting new products they've got, including a light that goes on the base plate of a magazine. And I've seen similar things back in the day, but nothing recently. So I'm curious about that for sure. Wood says he wrote 3 more questions over at Ask Gun Questions. Right on, thanks. So if you head to askgunquestions.com, that's the kind of commercial we did a little earlier when I went to put this code on. The Ask Gun Questions is just that, just askgunquestions.com. All it is a little form. I guess I could go there since we're screen sharing. Ask Gun Questions. Hopefully it's the first thing that shows up. It's been there for a long time. And it's a website where anyone can ask any gun questions about guns, or any questions about guns. We post as many answers as we can over on Gun Channels, where we used to. I guess I could change that. Some are common, some are easy, some have many answers, some can't be answered, but we still try. And then you can listen to the answers, and I should probably change those links to be the Saturday show that Clover and Tony and I do. But you can ask your one question. You can leave a name if you want. You don't have to. You can leave a link if you need to, but you don't have to. And that's all you gotta do is put in a gun question and then hit enter, and you're done. So again, thanks to the folks that are posting questions and Woods for getting some in there. That's something to talk about. All right, now Wednesdays, Foss does a show he calls The Overnight. On Wednesdays, he does a show he calls The Mouse Party, which is a non-scripted, long format conversation, open room, a lot of fun. He does this on Wednesdays, which gives us the chance to do the Daily Gun Show tactical quiz just before. So it's a great kind of place to head over to after the tactical quiz. I think I mentioned that Gizzards' show. It's probably live right now still. He's retired from his day job and hit episode 200 of his Foul Territory show. So they're over there, I'm sure, having a good time. Got a couple of radio shows that I listen to each week. This week had some stuff happen, so didn't listen to any of them except for the one on Wednesday, Cape Gun Works. I think I might have listened to Tuesday's show as well. Can't remember. But I think I did. But again, great show out of Massachusetts. I think it's going to soon just be a podcast instead of a radio show as well. But focused on guns, answering questions, but answering them in a Second Amendment focus type of way, if that makes sense. So not just the yes or no's, but the yes and or the no ifs, so that people have some idea of the nuance and the changes and the difference, I guess, between and the difference where the answer would apply, I guess, in different states, right? The answers are different here than they would be there. And what's interesting sometimes with the Cape Gun Works shows is that since they're answering questions from the Massachusetts point of view often, it's a point of view that a lot of people aren't dealing with. So listening to people who can hold their own with conversations but are behind enemy lines and they have to bring up things every once in a while that they just can't have or aren't able to access, that can be interesting. All right, so one of the things I stumbled across last week was the Jocko podcast with somebody. Meet somebody from Horses and Heroes or something like that. Heroes and Horses. I think it's Horses and Heroes. And that's a great project, and it was a really good interview. And it was on Ed's Manifesto, and then I wanted to go find that Mika guy if he had some other interviews out there, and he had one with Jocko, and it was 5 hours long. We talked about it last week. Great interview, and you got to be in the mood to listen to a Jocko podcast. But a Jocko podcast, it's a whole thing if you have never heard one. So I just got in the mood. I've been doing some things, so started listening to, or went through the list of podcasts, or I guess interviewees that Jocko's had on, and found a series of 3 podcasts that are each 3 hours long with John Stryker Meyer, and he's a Green Beret from Vietnam with the Mac V SOG. That's similar to that. So doing recon very far north, in a couple of guys at a time type of stuff, and lots and lots of interesting stories about the tech of the time and the strategies and the tactics and the roles that these guys played and the lives that they lived. So it's an interesting story for sure. Some stuff that for a long time they weren't able to talk about, and very few of them, well, none of them really did. A lot of the stuff kind of was alluded to in some of the movies and things, but was never came to light. And it's just a really cool conversation. So if anybody's interested in a series of long conversations that are in depth about the Vietnam War and want to listen to a true boomer, right? Those are the real boomers, I think, that generation. Then there's 3 of them. Like, you're really in for a treat if you're looking for long format conversations like that. All right, talking about a treat. Now we're talking about our stuff this week, some of the stuff that we put out there. Clover and I have been doing a series on Tuesdays where we talk to people about SHOT Show and answer questions and that kind of thing. And this last week, we invited some people on that had yet to attend SHOT Show. This will be their first year in 2023. So it ended up being, I think, 3-something hours long. So plenty to listen to, plenty to talk about in that one. Again, we talked about the Ask Gun Question show. This last week was episode 44. So, of course, we talked about the 44 Magnum and had a pretty decent show. I just realized as I was putting this thing together, that means this week is the 45. This is the 45th episode. Might be one of the more perfect episodes. We had an episode, or we did a show talking about the firearms calendar, and that was, I forget, Tuesday? I forget what day that was, or maybe Monday actually. And that calendar was not yet complete or up to date or finished. So now it's the opposite. Now it is up to date, complete, and finished. Let's see. So it's the Firearms Museums calendar. These are the different museums that are included all around the country. However, the way I set it up this year is I can definitely change this stuff out. So if you've got another idea for a calendar, if you've got a gun shop or something and they would like to get something where they want their artwork or their logo here, if you want some other kind of information here, it's totally doable. So we've got the big stuff that's happening each month, easy to find right there. And then each day of the month that we have information for has the appropriate data there in the day grid or cells or whatever you want to call it in the calendar itself. So the idea would be if you're planning something, you can thumb through this and see when something's coming up. I don't know about y'all, but having an actual calendar is pretty handy sometimes to just, okay, I need to know what's going on in April, as opposed to trying to go through a computer and then either have some kind of crazy digital version of this or trying to keep track of some of the stuff in the head. Now, no one's going to keep track of some of the anniversaries and things, but some of the big events are easy enough to keep track of. But for me, it's a lot easier to just see them on a calendar mapped out for when I'm scheduling or trying to plan. And that's really what this is for. Let people, one, plan what's coming up so that they can attend the things that are not virtual, the things that are in reality. Another thing is to keep history alive, let people know all the interesting things that are out there that are anniversaries or, all the different interesting stuff that might be from the Shooter's Almanac Project and from the Gun Calendars Project. And then to make guns more normal. You know, some of this stuff is boring and completely focused on 2A or guns or something, but a lot of it is just in general. And the more we can offer that stuff to be kind of out there in the world, let the information get out there in the world, then, you know, more normal guns can be. So that was a video from Monday, kind of working on that project, and then since then I kind of figured it's not 1,000% done, but it's 99% done. All right, so next we have another show from Thursday where we talked about the 2017 tour. It's actually pretty cool because it's helping me to go back and keep track. I've been on a lot of tours over the years, and they definitely can blend together because there are some points of the trips when I'm traveling in the same areas or even down the same roads, and it's sometimes tough to remember, was that, you know, in 2017 or was that in 2019 that I drove down that road? When I drove down it in both years, I'm just trying to remember which one was which. Anyhow, it's kind of cool to go back and do that. Give me some feedback on what it's like to, if it's worth doing that, because there's other things, and I could also be talking about travel, but some people or some folks have offered some feedback that it is interesting to hear the reminiscing or the description of the tours. Not everybody's been around since 2017, and even those that weren't necessarily paying attention to the kind of stuff that we were doing out there. All right, so with that, we're towards the end of the show now. We do have, I'm going to do a random thing here because we do appreciate the super chats that come in. So I'm going to head over to random.org. And sometimes, we have to do, random stuff, or maybe the swap sets of swap stuff, which probably the best value. But this time we've got some new patches, like I mentioned. I can't even show you what they are. I can show you the new AK patch, except I don't have one sitting here. But we have a big giant AK patch that just came in, as well as a little tiny daily gun show. That one, do I have right here? Nope, I don't have anyone right here. That one actually went out with the first AK that we got purchased earlier today. All right, so I think I said there were, let's go double check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 super chats. So we're going to go 1 to 9. The first one being on the 1st with Ron Wayne, and then the most recent being She Fires the other day on that first year SHOT Show Q&A session. So with no other ado, I'm going to hit generate on here. And it goes to number 1, which is Ron Wayne. So Ron Wayne will get one of the new, I can't even tell you what they are, patches. And if he posts a picture of it, that's on him. He's allowed to do that if he wants, once he's got them. But thanks again to Ron for the super chat on the 1st of the month. And nobody's really been saying anything tonight, so I'm not sure what's happening out there as far as people participating tonight. But we did have a thing going at the bottom of the screen that said, type hashtag Daily Gun Show in the text chat for a chance to win a patch. It also says, eventually it will also say, our Patreons make our projects like these possible. Thank you. So thanks to our Patreons for making it possible. So we have just 2 people that are participating tonight. And even though I've been saying this and it's been on the screen for a while, still, yet no one is participating. So it's going to be pretty good odds. I don't think I typed it in there. So there'll be 2 different people. And you'll be competing for one of the free. Oh, we just got 4 entries. So it looks like people are now participating. I guess I can wait for a moment if people are going to participate. What we'll do is run a quick commercial for the tactical quiz. This will take almost a minute, so you'll have a moment to participate. But this will be loud, definitely loud audio. Since that was a tactical quiz commercial, thanks to Foss for creating that for us, we're going to go ahead and do a quick tactical quiz. So this is our friend AK-47 Shooter over on the Instant Grams. And what he's got going on is a 10-part quiz So whoever wants to play along, the idea here is he made a photo of items from 10 classic Christmas movies. Can you name all the movies? So number 1 is a bucket, maybe a paint bucket tied to a string. You're all playing. So the first one to say, a paint bucket tied to a string. What would a paint bucket tied to a string? What could that possibly be as far as a movie? Maybe nobody's playing tonight. I guess nobody's playing. Pink said Home Alone. So, oh no, wait, G23 said Home Alone. So 1 is G23. Just got written down. Number 2 is a Red Ryder BB gun. It seems to be a Red Ryder BB gun. Number 2 is a Red Ryder BB gun. I wonder what movie that could be. Number 2 would be, let me wiggle my mouse on it, this Red Ryder BB gun. DJ said Christmas Story. So well done. Number 3 is some kind of a mug that seems to be made out of glass, and it looks like it might even have antlers for the handles on it. Well, you can't jump ahead, so you just told everybody a bunch of shit. So great to go. So number 3 is a mug that seems to maybe even have the head of a moose, where if you're holding the mug, you'd be holding the antlers. So number 3 would be, nobody's saying it, so nobody knows what that one is. I guess we're just going to pass on number 3. All right, so we're passing on number 3. Number 4 is a can with 5 cents written on it. So a can with the number 5 with a cents symbol. So G23 said Uncle Buck. It's interesting. Uncle Buck isn't a Christmas movie, is it? I guess it is a Christmas movie, kind of. But no, it's not Uncle Buck. So number 4 is some kind of a soup can with 5 cents written on it, and then there's like a slot on the top, like if it was a bank. Oh, that's sad. No one's getting that one either. So we'll just keep going. If you want to try answering one of these right now, 3 and 4 are still up for grabs, as you can see, because no one has answered them. So number 5 is a pile of chains with some locks on it. Number 5 is kind of centered here, and that is a pile of chains with some locks on it. Should be easy to figure that one out, but no one's really participating on that one. So number 6 is a bunch of teeth and pliers. I didn't know that one. So a bunch of teeth and pliers. Number 7 is some sort of a potion, I guess. Maybe it's syrup. I don't know what it is. And then 8 is a single antler with some string on it. A single antler with some string on it. 9 is some sort of the thing at the end of the stairs, I think. Like a banister thingy. And then 10 is a stupid Beretta 9mm. Nobody likes. So G23 is saying number 2. Hold on. Home Alone 2 is number 6. Oh, is that what that is? All right, well, I'll give you number 6 because I don't know. All right, so far we've got G23 winning with 2 answers. Nobody else. Got to put a number with something once in a while, because otherwise how am I supposed to know what anything is? Because you're just saying numbers now or just saying words. So this didn't work very good. So, tactical quizzes. So maybe go watch one of them other channels that does a tactical quiz. All right, so oh, look at that. G23 says Die Hard, number 10. Very easy to understand what that one is. He's saying Die Hard. It's number 10. DJ's a victim of using this little arrow thing. Little arrow thing. Confusing some people. I'm giving 10 to G23. is a massive upset. Woods is out of it. So Daniel was asking, did I see Violent Night? No, I don't watch stuff like that. I watch documentaries mostly, and then occasionally sci-fi. Well, I watch sci-fi, and then occasionally comedies, but by the time I watch documentaries and sci-fi, I don't got time to watch nothing else. I can't handle horror because they require the person be stupid. There's never been a horror movie for people that are not stupid. Don't hate the player, hate the trivia contest in the middle of a Friday show. All right, I got to end it because basically what's happening here is one, G23 is slaughtering. So Violent Night, this is Violent Night as far as this tactical quiz is going. G23 dominated by getting number 1, number 6, and number 10. It's 3 different hits. DJ got 1. He got number 10 stolen from him for sure. But that's what happened. So it could have been a tie, but because of the way it went down, G23 dominated. So here's the deal. I'm gonna draw some outlines. I'm gonna draw 2 outlines. One of them looks like this. See what I did there? That's one of the outlines. And then the other outline looks like this. See? Here's what I'm gonna name it. 1. Right? And then 2. Like that. So which one are you choosing? Outline number 1, that would be what the patch looks like in a silhouette if it was, evidence identity mask. The other one would look like number 2. Reindeer Games is the antler or the mug? Actually, no. Reindeer Games is, if it's on this list, I don't know, but it's definitely not the mug. Everybody knows what the mug is. I'm pretty sure, didn't he win them? Somebody knew the mug, but then, or knew what number 3 was, but then didn't specifically type it in any way that I could know what it is. You'll see this is just here as a thing that just says something without any kind of indication of what number it has associated with it. It's just the words. I mean, that could have been talking about a magazine of the day, at the time, for all I know. He's saying 2 for 2A. All right. Then I got to put equals G23. All right, so that'll be going out tonight. And did I mention we also have, let me flip back over to let me flip the thing back to the stuff with the thing in the majig underneath of there. Give the puppy a little pet, make sure everybody knows it's not a stuffed puppy, it's a real puppy. And then we can head back. Thanks again to AK-47 Shooter. If you'd like to play at home. See, G23 just tried to hork National Lampoon number 3, except it's National Lampoon Christmas Vacation, for crying out loud. So it's Home Alone, Christmas Story, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Come on, you don't know what the can is with 5 cents written on it? I'm not going to tell you if you don't know. 5 is, let's just put it this way, super old movie from old people. 7, I don't know what that is. You're saying this is Home Alone 2? Okay. 6, oh, I went backwards. 6, 7, and then 8 has been said a million times out here. It's been said like 3 or 4 different times, but no one has said it with number 8, so I could not associate it with anything. So that one is literally laying there. It's been said before. 9, I have no idea what 9 is. And 10, everybody knows what 10 is. So 9, I think, is the thing that comes off the bottom of a stairway, banister or whatever, right? So I just don't know what movie they take one of those off in. Somebody will know. Saying, does the puppy have a name? Yeah, pretty much has a name. Yes. Dog has a name. 5 easy pieces. The can is It's a Wonderful Life? No, come on. Come on. 5 might be. Wait, no. What's a Wonderful Life? Is that the one where... No, I don't know which one's A Wonderful Life is. So no, the can, I know what the can is though, and it's not, it's a wonderful item. Oh man, G23 is trying to get you on a technicality. It's because he's been spending so much time watching legal stuff. He's trying to lawyer you. You can only do that once, man. All right, here's the deal. Pink is saying that dog needs a Power Wheels Jeep to ride in. At my dollar store, they have those things that you're talking about. Let's go look at what I'm talking about. 99-cent only is the best super. It's 99-cent best 99-cent stores ever. So you go into one of these, and then let's see what we got for. What are they going to have? I guess they're probably not going to have it, but you know, sometimes, yeah, they're not going to have it. But maybe you know what I can do. You know what I can do? Oh, you know what? Let's see if we can go back to the main one and see what their Instagram has. They used to have one of the best Instagrams going. Now, not so much, but they might have an Instagram with what I'm talking about. But those, basically the thing that you're talking about, that giant Jeep, they had them, but they were a BMW and maybe like a Lamborghini and some other car that I don't know what it is. So they had 3 of them, and I think they were either $299 or $199. I don't know if that's a good price or not, but what was cool about them is they were a giant remote control car that you could put a dog or a kid in, but it had a remote control, so you could still remote control it, just like they do with Taz and stuff, or whoever that dog is. That one dog that goes to SHOT Show in a vehicle. All right, they don't have pictures of it. Anyway, I was hoping they'd have pictures of it on their Instagram. Okay, whatever. So that's 99 cents. All right. 5 is A Christmas Carol. Yes, obviously. And then he knows what 4 is. And the only one I don't know is 9 and 7. Otherwise, I know what all of them are. Okay, well, with that, that's tactical quiz. You've got it there. You can use it for your own shows if you want. You're welcome. We also have this going. It's got 5 entries. I don't know if anybody else didn't want to participate. If they did, if they didn't. But thanks again to. Oh, you know what I should write down right now? Is that Ron Wayne got the. Equals super chat. Right on. And then, so I'm going to jump out of this thing. I'll mention again, there's only 5 over here. So if you got a chance, if you're trying to get in on the random.org thingy, or the random, whatever, hashtag Daily Gun Show, better get in on it. If you want to get over to Clover and Ghost's deal and grab a sticker and get yourself in on an opportunity to win $1,600 worth of stuff, feel free. Here's the link again. And then we'll go back over to that giveaway tool. Still only 5 entries, so I've given everybody, I feel like, as much opportunity as I can offer. Boom, I'm hitting draw. Here it goes. And the winner of tonight's hashtag is DJ. Dang it. I just sent DJ stuff. All right, so again, let's go back to this. And let's say that if you were to pick, what's going on? If you were to pick from this silhouette or this silhouette, would you pick number 1 or would you pick number 2? Number 1 or number 2? In other words, would the silhouette look smaller in this sort of an orientation, or would it be larger in this sort of an orientation? maybe DJ left before he even realized that he won. We'll never know. Ron Wayne won the thank you to super chats. So I did a super chat on random.org earlier, and you were the one that won there. If you're interested, since you're sitting right there, so this is for both Ron Wayne and DJ. Are you interested in one of the exclusive, nobody knows what it looks like yet patch that's this way or this way? One or two. One of them's larger in this way, and one of them's shorter in this way. DJ left, so I don't know. Actually, DJ already has both of them technically, but he hasn't gotten them yet, I don't think. So, just saying, he doesn't know. He doesn't know what he doesn't know. Now we're waiting for Ron Wayne to let us know. One or two. One or two. I could get them because I don't have any close here. All right. Well, with that being said, we'll say thanks again to folks joining us live, having a little fun here at the end. 2 would be fine. All right. Cool. So let me say a note here. All right. And I was flipping this back. There you go, a little puppy action. Flip that back over, go over to here. All right, and we can get rid of that, Head back over to the Gear website store. Say thanks again to the people that do purchase stuff over at our store. We do have some new stuff over there. The new AK patch, for example, is the largest made. Nobody else has the kind of relationships that we got with our patch people. Nobody else wants to spend the kind of money it takes to create the molds for a 9-inch long Kalashnikov patch. But that's what we got going on over there. They just came in this week. Only one has been shipped so far, and then DJ has one in the mail. Like I say, he doesn't actually have it yet. But each of these, since it is Friday, is coming with the one that whoever picked number 2. So the ones that are coming with a number 2 of the patches that cannot be named, cannot be shown for whatever reasons. I'm just saying, can't show them. But then, what else we got over there? We started the calendar. I think I briefly chatted up that thing a little bit by flipping it up on the screen here. The calendar is designed to, you got your hole in there, you put it on the wall, kind of glance at it, see what's coming. If you're scheduling stuff, you've got all the different events that are coming up that have been posted. And then for stuff that has not yet been announced, we've got some little question marks so that we know that that they're coming up that month. And then updated calendars throughout the year can update those events. These are over at the store. If you want one with a specific different layout than firearms museums, let me know, because now I should have set them up in such a way that can be adjusted fairly easily. I'll drop a link to the Substack, which is essentially a blog of what we just talked about tonight. It's a way to subscribe for free in a newsletter format-ish thing. It's not really a newsletter. It's just you'll get an email with, that what we just looked at on the screen here, the description of this video. But it is a way to get an archive into your phone or into your email box that you might be useful depending on how you're using this. All right, so I guess lastly, we have the poll going, and we'll just talk briefly that the good week for 2A is what won out in the poll this week. Was it a good week? I don't know. I was still frustrated. I'd like to see us at a national level pursue some things that are not necessarily the old stuff. However, I can't complain. This week we did have a couple of different things happen that aren't normal, and it is Christmas time. So except for getting attacked and having to defend ourselves, which we have to do if that happens. But aside from that, which is out of our control, I guess, we're doing decent and still allowed to have a decent, a good time and not have to worry about this stuff when it's not imminent. Puppy alert! He just got up and he's moving around. He just did a stretch. Oh, sorry. I should have had the video on. Do your stretch again. Put this over here so you can see him do a stretch. Do it again. No, you won't do it. Let me, I should probably get everybody's super chat data off the screen there. Hey. Oh, now he's got the hiccups. That'll be pretty cute for the end of the show. Well, he does have hiccups. Puppy! I think that made him go away. Usually you can scare him out of there. There he goes. All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow for Ask Gun Questions. Brooke does her show tomorrow. G23's got a show. I'm sure that'll be a fun one tomorrow. And we've got the patch swap / well, I don't know if it'll be a swap this week, but we've got a patch. Well, we could have a swap, actually, if enough people bought some patch swap stuff. But we'll have some patch history, some, or whatever we're calling it, a patch show on Sunday. All right, with that, we'll end this one. Maybe this dude will go outside. I'll go outside. Nope, he's going back to bed. It's not a sanctioned name, but have a good evening. There he goes. There, you got a yawn in there. You got a yawn in there. Little puppy yawn. Everybody likes a puppy yawn to end the show out.
GearWebsites.com is your source for firearms-based playing cards and books. We also have mugs, shirts, and posters with designs that we've made live. Of course, we have patches. Every Friday is Free Patch Friday. We appreciate your support. Thank you for shopping at GearWebsites.com.
Quit sniffing again. You got knocked down and you're not supposed to be sniffing.
Shit. Ninja? Ninja! Ninja!
It's 11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with
Tonight's episode, The Ripoff.
The guys and gals at gunwebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice once a month, and carry every day.
Thank you for watching GunWebsites.com.